This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.
We're going to talk about Joe Rogan in the next segment. And, I sent Joe a message that I'll tell you about in the next segment. It's not a mean message. I just said, you can say whatever you want about me, but if you read George Soros' talking points about me on air anymore, I'm going to tell folks, not stuff I know from knowing you personally about 20 years, but about that damn CIA operation here in Austin. And that's all I'm saying. And it's not like some threatening thing. It's like, dude, you're not going to slap me around without me coming back. I don't take any pleasure in this. And I knew it. I kind of knew it. And then I kind of ignored it. And it's almost like I'm guilty. I don't know how to explain this. I'm guilty. And this isn't about getting on the show because I wouldn't even do it for that. And I realized the whole thing. And it's so bad that, God, it's that's why I keep balking. It's not that I'm afraid to do it. It's like, it's so bad that I like, it's kind of like cops when they get in the house, there's a bunch of dead bodies of kids in the boards. They don't want to pull them up. They know they're there because they've seen the videos the psycho did. I'm not saying Joe did that. Joe's a great guy. And I'm kind of like not looking forward to pulling these boards up because, man, there are a lot of damn bodies buried right there. In fact, I can smell them. We'll be right back. I know he's super smart because the guy you see on air, he's got one guy that plays up to the potheads and makes them feel cool, and he's got another guy that plays up the pseudo-intellectuals. And I mean, Joe's very smart. In fact, he knows all the stuff I know. And then I learned about the groups that are involved, the whole sponsorship to promote DMT and psychedelics that certain groups out of San Francisco want done. It's kind of Timothy Leary stuff part two. So Joe Rogan's the new Timothy Leary. And now that he's got such a huge show, he's been brought into all that, which is great. I'm not one of these guys that's mad that somebody has a big show. My concern is when he goes, oh, I got Alex Jones on the show and set him up, made him look dumb. Like, I can't see that. And then I start thinking back to what I saw, what I witnessed, the things, the groups. And I'm like, my God, because you know somebody, you then just ignore. Obviously, anything big in culture is going to have certain groups come in and try to take it over. And clearly, and then I talk to people that know him and like, well, Joe's hanging out with these professors. You know what that means? The local professors. He's hanging out with the leftist professors who, have a three-letter name to them.
If you can convince Joe...
He was a conspiracy theorist. He thought 911 for sure was an inside job. And then he started to get more on the fence about everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you're trying to bring him back over.
He's not a conspiracy theorist, obviously. But he's not a total skeptic either.
Some people would call him a conspiracy theorist just based on the moon. He didn't at least formally didn't believe in the moon landings. He talked to Neil deGrasse Tyson though. I don't know if Neil changed his mind. Maybe
the epigram on that is the universe is under no obligation to make sense to you.
That's rational.
And I've tweeted that before. And the epigram on that is the universe is under no obligation to make sense to you.
But he's not a total skeptic either.
Some people would call him a conspiracy theorist just based on the moon. He didn't at least formally didn't believe in the moon landings. He talked to Neil deGrasse Tyson though. I don't know if Neil changed his mind. Maybe.
There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way. There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way.
There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way. There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way. There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way.
Joe, you were totally down you were the moon hoax crusader. Something?
No. Hold on, Eddie. This Japanese satellite that all these hundreds of scientists worked on
Fake
for like
NASA.
a decade.
They fake moon
they
landings.
Shoot it out into space.
They fake
take
the moon land like they do it in NASA. NASA, that's what they do.
Why do you think if they have the technology to make CGI that looks that good, why don't they have the technology to shoot a camera into space?
Where's the pictures from NASA? How come they don't have any?
They don't have that space kind of.
They don't have the technology?
No, they just never did it.
They also don't give a
kind of
Show me a real
satellite.
picture. Show me a real picture.
Listen, NASA does not have one of those satellites.
Fake.
Why do you think that's fake?
That's fake as fuck.
Why does it look fake
It looks
as fuck?
like something you'd see in a movie.
That's because when they do it in a movie, they try to make it look like this, which is what looks real.
If that's real to you, man, shit.
You don't think it's real?
They faked 6 moon
Eddie,
landings.
stop saying that because it's irrelevant. Stop saying that because it's irrelevant. Stop saying that because it's irrelevant.
Now, you were a moon guy for a while, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
well, listen, my issues with not believing that people went on the moon, a lot of it had to do with a friend who had an uncle who worked at Rocketdyne. This guy was convinced that there was no way to do it. He was an engineer, and he said they were so far away from doing it that the fact that they did it, and they did it 7 times, but...
What made you make the switch from like being a moon landing denier to like
That's a good question.
crazy if you don't
No, I don't think we're crazy. No, this is my take on it. Absolutely, I don't know enough about astrophysics, about space travel, about the science that's the work that's been done, about how to get a rocket to the moon and back. I definitely don't know enough.
It's rocket science.
There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way. There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way.
There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way. There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way.
Oh, Joe Rogan is the deep state. He's hiding right in plain view, Mr. Trendy, Mr. Cool, and he just wants a sponsor. He's ready to do it. And so
one thing about Joe that I always thought was weird is how he doesn't have any opinions. Like, you'll listen to one episode and then the next episode he'll say the exact opposite, to the point where you're not coming from an authentic place.
It's a chameleon.
A lot of people see that too, and I think that, when I do live streams, a lot of people will write comments, and I just react to comments, and that's one reason why there's some videos out of me like talking some smack about Rogan, is because a lot of people want to know about Rogan, because people will just keep being like, Rogan's a shill, Rogan's a shill. What do you think about Rogan? I'm like, I don't want to get involved in drama, but that being said, he had me on and he told me that I shouldn't make fun of Shaun King and that I don't represent myself properly on Twitter. And
by the way, Shaun King looks like Errol Flynn or looks like Red Butler. The dude's whiter than I am.
He's whiter than Bill Burr. He's like SPF 5000, and he's a horrible human being too. And so he's a race-baiting deep state liar. And so when I'm on there and then I get kicked off Twitter permanently, and then Rogan doesn't have me back on to tell people where to find me, at that point I kind of knew something was going on with him. And then to see him not have you on when you were triple deplatformed and just seeing
he wants to be the last guy standing. And so this is just Joe to understand that I kind of knew this, but I just wasn't busy thinking about it. And so I researched it more and I looked into it. I made a few phone calls, and it's just like, wow. But this is how the system, let me tell you, he's now the chosen one by the left, even more than Jordan Peterson or any of those guys. They are handling him. They're positioning him, everything. And it's a very, very, let's just say the whole thing's got a glass jaw. I just spent some time on Joe Rogan. It was Timothy Leary. This is declassified, by the way. I'm not saying things that are my opinion. Who from the beginning as a professor got busted doing some things that were illegal. And so the CIA and the FBI got him as an informant by the 50s. And by the early 60s, they said, you're going to introduce drugs to the kids. You're going to introduce L.S.D. and be our cover guy while we have local labs at all the universities producing it. And I just so happened to know some people who were here in the 60s who were producing L.S.D. at the University of Texas for the Central Intelligence Agency. Little Bird told me about it a long time ago. And so they have these local gurus everywhere. So then later in life, you run into it and you go, oh my God, it's the same thing. And so that's what all this is introducing how cool and great these things are, but not just so they can get you on the drugs, the DMT, all the rest of it, but so you're listening to them as their guru when you're on the drug, which is a at-far mind control operation. And then they set up a health clinic or a workout thing, a cool thing. And they've got these girls and everything's cool. And now you're in the club, depending on who you are, and they get celebrities there. And now they've got a cult going for politics, for blackmail. I mean, not Joe Rogan. For blackmail. I mean, not Joe Rogan. I was talking about Timothy Leary. So that's what I'm talking about, Owen Benjamin, and that's stuff. I mean, you know, Bill Cosby, you know, got convicted of drugging women. But what if what Timothy Leary did was going on in every city, major city around the country, and what if people didn't know about it? That'd be a pretty big story, Owen.
Well, that's intense, man. That's so intense. I didn't even think about that. Do you think does Jordan Peterson fit into this? Because he's got that whole like professor vibe going on too, you know?
Oh well, Jordan, you know. And again, I want to be clear. I support Tucker Carlson. I support Sean Hannity. I support Trump. I'm not one of these guys that like sees people that are successful and smart and goes, I got to shoot them down to prove I'm big. I'm only talking about all this because I feel bad that I saw it and was even kind of told it like I was an idiot and I was like, and a few compromising attempts by certain people. And then I started thinking later, like, you know what I mean? Like when you know people, not Joe, not him, or not other people. I mean, just when you know people and then they try something on you, you tend to not be as awake to it. It's just the larger continuum of the truth has to be told. And then people just hope that that truth doesn't then come out. And I just hope that the Joe Rogan experience of cucking to the left, cucking to the control, giving into the establishment, not standing up people you claim were your friends, I just hope that that doesn't become the modicum of the new century. What do you think?
Well, I just, as you're talking, I'm so glad I don't have horrible secrets and that my most shameful moments are free for anybody to see because people have already tried to use them against me. And I have a relationship with my wife where she knows my darkest moments and darkest thoughts and darkest experiences. So it feels absolutely unbelievable to have a life where I don't have to worry about something horrible coming out. Wow. So I'm grateful.
Well, I don't think Joe knew about the intelligence agencies recruiting him until they were all around him. But I think there's an embracer going on. But I wasn't talking about him earlier about CIA cults and sex cults. I was talking about somebody else. But no, seriously.
This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.
It feels absolutely unbelievable to have a life where I don't have to worry about something horrible coming out. Wow. So I'm grateful.
Well, I don't think Joe knew about the intelligence agencies recruiting him until they were all around him.